On primetime, it's day 2 in the search for a 71-year-old Jigo man. Plus, despite pleading guilty to harassing an employee, Adelup stands by the Director of Customs and Quarantine. Sabrina Salas-Matanani has the story. And the defense and government rest in a trial of a man accused of rape. Adriana Cotero has the latest from court.
Half a day and good evening, I'm Tyler Matanani. It is day 2 in the search of 71-year-old Fernando Canlas, last seen behind the Jigo Palas at around 9:30 a.m. yesterday. According to GFD spokesperson Charika Chargaloff, rescue units 1 and 2 continue to search the areas of Route 15 from the Marbo area north to Quarry, inclusive of the Raceway Park and all other buildings, as well as several trails, with the Guam Police Department and the Guam National Guard's Lakota 25 continuing to assist in the search and rescue. Chargaloff added, quote, "At this time, all search efforts have been with negative findings. GFD is urging the community to be on the lookout for Mr. Canlas and contact 911 with any information or possible sightings." Police are asking for the public help to find 27-year-old Segundo Aguero Sablan. He is wanted for questioning by GPD Highway Patrol investigators relative to a fatal crash that occurred on March 23rd in Barrigada. He is believed to be armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Sablan is described as 5'6", brown eyes and brown hair, and has several tattoos. He was last seen along Route 8 by SK Laundromat. He is known to frequent Westbrook Street in Barrigada and Robot Street in Mongmong. If you know of his whereabouts, please call 472-8911. The final witness to testify was the man on trial accused of rape, Vianney Jose. As Adriana Cotero reports, after both the government and defense rested, alternate public defender Peter Santos motioned for acquittal.
There's no facts and evidence that a reasonable juror could come to a conclusion beyond a reasonable doubt that was physically helpless.
Defense counsel Peter Santos moves for acquittal and his client Vianney Jose to be cleared from all criminal sexual conduct charges against him. Jose allegedly joined 2 other men in sexually assaulting a 16-year-old female in November 2018. The alleged rape was unknowingly videotaped by a co-defendant, and a month after the incident, it circulated social media. Santos argues the evidence does not support that the victim was physically helpless and the sex was consensual. However, Assistant Attorney General Christine Tenorio argues the victim was unable to communicate her unwillingness, as the victim testified that she was intoxicated and doesn't remember it happening. Tenorio says there's enough evidence for the jury to make the final determination. The court agreed.
The court again denies the motion for acquittal.
Prior to the motion, Jose testified. As we reported, he is the lone defendant in the case to not plead guilty.
You heard your co-defendants took plea agreements. Were you ever offered a plea agreement?
Yes.
And why did you take it?
Because it would go against my conscience to plead guilty to something I'm not.
He testified that the victim introduced herself as being 18 years old, and on that same evening, before the group sex, she had intercourse with the 2 other men.
They slipped away and they came back. And then Dwayne was bragging about having sex with her.
Okay, then what happened?
And then I guess Burton wanted in on the action as well. So he extended his hand. She took his hand and escorted to the bedroom.
Jose testified that the victim was not incoherent, and when the group sex occurred, she looked him in the eyes and engaged. Further, Jose stated that he was never concerned the sex was a crime and was unaware a video was being recorded. Although AAG Tenorio argued otherwise, as she asked the defendant to depict the video, particularly the verbiage.
So in the whole 2 minutes, when Burton is he's directing a video, you didn't see or hear him directing the video?
It didn't sound like he was directing a video. It just sounded like he was telling us what to do.
In the video, Dwayne says, "I feel like a rapist."
Yes.
And Burton says, "That's okay. She wanted this. She wanted this." Do you recall that?
I don't recall that part of the video. The part where he says, I feel like a rapist, and then where he said, "That's okay." I don't remember that. From my independent recollection, but I do see it in the video.
Closing arguments are set for Monday, April 12th. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Adelup is standing by their top gun at Guam Customs and Quarantine after pleading guilty to harassing an employee on the job.
Customs Director Ike Pareto isn't going anywhere.
I have very strong confidence in Mr. Pareto, in his integrity, in his management.
Earlier this week in the Superior Court, the director pled guilty to harassment as a petty misdemeanor. The case stems from a July 2020 incident involving an alleged physical altercation with a female employee. According to the plea agreement, the assault charge was dismissed and Pareto was allowed to remain director so long as he keeps his distance from the victim. He also has to pay court fees and restitution, complete an anger management course, and perform 50 hours community service, and he can't possess a gun unless it's for work purposes.
I think that these charges that resulted in him and the disposition of the cases unfortunately get complicated. But I can tell you, coming from the court, sometimes when the way the system works doesn't always allow for what I think is adequate justice, meaning that people get forced to plea to lesser offenses so that they don't get stuck in a court system for years.
But what about victims of crime seeking adequate justice? According to Attorney General Levin Camacho, in every case, the prosecution division's mission is to pursue justice and find out what happened. And although victims do have input, it doesn't necessarily mean they have the ultimate say.
We're not there to necessarily carry out any personal feelings or vendettas between two individuals. So if we reviewed the case and we believed that we would be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt harassment, and that was what the evidence supported, then that would be the thought going into making that offer in that plea agreement.
And as for Adelup, they'll continue standing by their customs director despite an offensive tap on the shoulder.
I'll say this, that I have been purview to information I've heard from the investigators. The initial arrest was not based on extensive investigation, and I remain very confident and supportive of his leadership. I regret that this conflict with the employee, who I also know and I have a regard for, resulted in this. But I have to say that Mr. Pareto is the right leader for that job right now.
More details have been released about an ancient burial site at the Marine Corps Base Camp Blas, believed to be from the pre-Laddie period. Acting State Historic Preservation Officer Carlotta Leon Guerrero says she released the 6-paragraph preliminary report at the direction of the governor in the public interest. The report was sent to her by military archaeologist Ronnie Rogers. He noted that, quote, significant new information was obtained from about 12 burials found at the site. It has evidence of complex burial practices. The skulls of 3 individuals were removed. The report states that this appears to be in keeping with historical accounts of allowing remains to decompose and storing skulls in the home. The report also notes apparent intentional cremation. It adds that it is not clear why so many different practices are going on at once and speculates that it may represent different use periods or different treatments for individuals with different status. The report comes after public complaints from activist groups about the lack of information from the SHPO on the burial findings. It doesn't matter if it's federal or local funds. Frontliners owed their COVID differential pay will get paid. Multiple agencies, to include GFD, GPD, and DOC, are behind in submitting the necessary timesheets to DOA for processing. According to Director Edward Byrne, there is one agency drawing some concerns.
Some particular concerns with public health because they were on the front line of this effort, and some of their divisions, and they report by divisions, some of their divisions are behind. So that is obviously a concern to us, and we have been talking to public health, and we're going to offer them some help to get these timesheets processed.
KUAM is still waiting for a response from public health spokesperson Janela Carrera for an update on the agency's COVID pay status. He's now fully part of the vaccination. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio received his second dose of the COVID vaccine today at the clinic at the UOG Cabell Fieldhouse.
It's very relieving, but I'm more excited to see all the people around me that are choosing to get vaccinated. And I think that we're keeping up with the demand.
And with May 1st coming up in just a bit, Tenorio gave us an update of where we stand on the path to half.
I think that we're already at 27%, I think, fully vaccinated, and first shots were already going, I think, more than 45%. So I think things are looking good. There's a smooth operation. I know I think it was Tuesday, there was some long lines, more people came, but I think the Guard made some adjustments and they're definitely able to handle. I think they're able to handle 2,000 people a day, so I think it's great.
Sitting in a packed vaccination clinic, Tenorio says he's glad more people are joining the vaccination.
It is a choice, right? But I think with more and more people seeing more and more of their friends and family members getting vaccinated, I think they're encouraged. I see a change, and I see people being interested in getting vaccinated. And I'm hoping that spirit is going to extend to everybody. There'll be some that that might not want to, but I think as we go on, this is going to be the key to saving our island.
Administering the dose to Lieutenant Governor Tenorio was registered nurse Governor Leon Guerrero. Palau is the first country in the region to reopen its tourism industry. They have set up a travel bubble with Taiwan, which has seen the arrival of 2 flights with a couple of hundred visitors. Speaking about economic recovery during a Sustainable Environment Forum at the University of Guam, Palau President Sarangel Whips Jr. says it wasn't easy, but they were able to build confidence in Taiwan that Palau was truly COVID-free.
Travelers to come visit Palau for 3 days, and it costs $3,000 because of all these requirements that we have. So the next step is, how do we make it more efficient? How do we make the experience more pleasant? And how do we really entice more visitors to come to Palau to get our economy back?
President Whips says they established a sterile corridor by requiring that arriving passengers take a PCR test at the airport instead of just 72 hours before departure. Governor Leon Guerrero and the Guam Visitors Bureau are expected to travel to Taiwan to set up a similar travel bubble. The National Weather Service says that next week, the development of a tropical cyclone in the broader western Micronesia area remains possible. The NWS will continue to monitor through the weekend, working closely with Guam Homeland Security and the Office of Civil Defense. They advise it is still too early to determine when and where any development will occur. And NWS has issued a fire weather watch in effect for the island through Sunday afternoon. A fire weather watch means that critical fire weather conditions are forecast to occur. Winds at 14 to 17 miles per hour are expected and near 60 degrees humidity. The highest threat will be for central and eastern parts of Guam. Any fires that develop will likely spread rapidly. Outdoor burning is not recommended. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
While we've all been through a lot over the years, typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19, we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years, Palos Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
Whether you use your truck for work or play, you can count on Ram trucks. Built to deliver today and built to deliver for many years to come. Here at Cars Plus, it is Ram Truck Month, where you can get the best deal on a new Ram 1500 starting at a new low price of $31,995. You can call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to schedule your test drive today.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
The governor signed 8 other bills into law. One new law prevents sentence reductions for those convicted of first or second degree criminal sexual conduct. Another establishes mandatory minimum sentences of 25 years and 15 years of certain criminal sexual conduct convictions. Another new law specifies that theft of agricultural products and livestock are crimes. The governor also signed a law that requires GovGuam employees to complete procurement training. And another new law requires disclosure of ownership or financial conflicts of interest when bidding for government contracts. Inarajan is now officially Inalahan. Governor Leon Guerrero traveled to the southern village to sign into law a bill by Senator Tello Taitagui that changed the legal name of the village to its Chamorro pronunciation.
It's a testament of how important it is that we continue sustaining the values of our Chamorro culture through demonstrations of protection of our language, our culture, and so forth. So, Viva Inalahan! Viva! Viva Inalahan! Viva! Viva Inalahan!
Residents of Inalahan turned out at a public hearing earlier this month to voice their overwhelming support for the renaming. Give us our land back, or pay just compensation for its taking. That's the long-standing plea of ancestral landowners who are still waiting for the government's help. The legislature called a hearing on Thursday to once again tackle an issue that has remained unresolved for decades.
And then one more question.
The request may be simple, give us the land back or pay us for it, but the resolution has not been. An oversight hearing on the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission shed light on the complexities of the issue. For example, Commission Director John Birch says they have some $13.8 million sitting in the land bank to compensate landowners.
Although this may be considered a substantial amount, it is not enough to justly compensate all the dispossessed ancestral landowners. There are thousands of original landowners and or their heirs waiting for compensation.
And not only is there not enough money, says Birch, there's not enough released land.
As of today, the Commission's aggregate amount of land returned is approximately 2,643.12 acres. However, the Commission cannot move forward with its mandate to compensate dispossessed landowners whose lands cannot be returned until the land bank rules and regulations are finalized.
The most recent proposed rules and regulations in 2017 were rejected by the Attorney General's office. Birch says the AG determined they lacked an economic impact statement, they contradicted the purpose of establishing a mechanism for compensation, they were ambiguous on the definition of a land bank beneficiary, and they violate the separation of powers doctrine because of a lack of legislative guidance. So now the committee plans to continue the hearing to further sort through the issue, including the return of excess lands by the military. In the meantime, thousands of heirs, including Mrs. Julia Wustig, will continue to wait.
I am here today with our whole Ujoa family, members to honor our ancestors, our parents and grandparents, and I support the return of our ancestral lands to the rightful original landowners.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
A community candlelight vigil will be held tomorrow, April 10, from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Retidian Overlook to pay respect to those who were disturbed in their final places of rest and the land that has been scarred as a result of the construction at the ancient village of Magua. The vigil will feature speakers who will highlight the history of Chamorro burials. Protehila Texan, Save Retidian member Maria Hernandez says, quote, the loss of more than 900 football fields of native land to build up construction is a grave loss to Guahan. And along with the impacts to our land, there is a deep sense of alarm about the ways Chamorro graves are being treated and the lack of information being shared with our community in that regard, unquote. Social distancing and mask wearing will be enforced. Next week, the Guam Homeless Coalition will hold a vaccination and passport effort to target the island's street homeless population. Guam Homeless Coalition's Samantha Taitano.
At the same time, we also wanted to make sure we were able to connect those with
some of the essential services. So we have invited a select number of partners to come out and to provide information. And then all of those who aren't able to join us and have a table, we'll be sending over some brochures that we will kind of put in our goodie bags that will be given to those who attend.
Public Health has approved the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine for the event. Today concluded the 12th annual University of Guam Conference on Island Sustainability. Here's more on how other nations are on the road to economic recovery by encouraging safe tourism. The University of Guam wrapped up their week-long conference on island sustainability. The final day focused on Islands Are Rising for economic recovery and featured keynote speakers, including President Serango Whips Jr. from the Republic of Palau, who discussed the new travel bubble between Palau and Taiwan, while a representative from the British Virgin Islands introduced tracking bracelets that reduce quarantine time for incoming travelers. CIS Director Dr. Austin Shelton.
We learned about renewable energy from Hank Rogers, the owner of Tetris and also the founder of Blue Planet Alliance, how we're going to emerge into the new green economy. We learned about renewable energy from Hank Rogers, the owner of Tetris and also the founder of Blue Planet Alliance, how we're going to emerge into the new green economy. So those were some of the exciting speakers today. We also had Sam Shinohara from United Airlines sharing about our upcoming recovery and the reopening of tourism and the work that he and the Guam Visitors Bureau board are working on in that area.
Yesterday's conference featured CIS Seed Talks, ideas worth cultivating. The university is partnered with the Obama Foundation and featured 4 Obama Foundation representatives from around different parts of the Pacific, along with New Zealand Rep. T.P. Katene.
There was sort of a recurring theme that came through a few of them, that our future actually lies somewhere in our past, and we thought that was a pretty interesting topic for indigenous communities in the Pacific on how we move forward toward a sustainable future for all of us.
Human rights lawyer and founder at Blue Ocean Law and author Julian Uggan read a special chapter from his book entitled Our Father, about climate change and human rights champion, the late Tony DeBrum. For those that may have missed the conference, the Center for Island Sustainability will be releasing an edited compilation of this year's entire conference, which will be available on the UOG website in the next 2 weeks. Coming up, we have Dave Delgado with your look at sports. Keep it here.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your 4th meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Mobile offers a new and convenient way to fuel your vehicle. Pay gas and go. No need to line up inside the store. Press preset. Enter whole dollar amount without decimals. Press Loyalty ID and enter your mobile number or insert Smiles card. Insert and remove payment card or tap contactless credit card. Begin fueling. And don't forget to grab your receipt. Pay gas and go. It's that easy.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Tonight on the show, I have some wrestling news on Team Guam as they prepare for a chance to represent Guam at the Olympic Games. But first off, some boys tennis news from the ISA League. Check it out. Teason's boys doubles one team has only one loss in the past 2 seasons. Senior Luke Certeza and junior Christian Legaspi are 6-0 this season with 1 match left before playoffs.
Honestly, I'm really grateful that we get to play this season because majority of our team is actually comprised of seniors. We have like 7 out of maybe like 10 of us. So to have our season back this year is just amazing, and I'm really glad that we get to play and we get to see other teams play, and I'm just really glad that we made it this far.
It's really great. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, my very first season, it wasn't that great. My record wasn't that great. So through the years, as I developed more and as a player and got more wins, it's honestly a really great feeling to have a senior year and a senior season.
The Titans defended home court against Sanchez, winning 8-5 yesterday afternoon.
We're both pretty outgoing, so we're really good at communicating with each other on the court. You know, I've seen that in our matches, I'm more of the strategical and he's the power. So combining those two together, I feel like we're pretty unstoppable there.
Teason wraps up regular season play on Thursday against the Islanders at JFK. Experience, consistency, along with Certeza's serving power will be key.
It's definitely our grittiness. So over the summers and over like any breaks we have over the weekends, we usually go out and play tennis or, you know, work for 1 to 2, 3, 4 hours until dark, grinding our game, getting our serves better, getting our volleys better, getting our forehands and backhands way better. Through practices, we work really hard. So this final season and heading into the playoffs, it's more so like execution. Definitely a lot more consistency needs to be there. But overall, so far, I think we have it going for us.
Playoffs start next Tuesday, April 6th, with this year's ISA Boys doubles finals taking place on Thursday, April 8th. In Olympic news, Guam wrestler Ethan Agagi will be leaving Virginia Tech on April 30th to head to the African and Oceanic Olympic qualifier to be held on April 3rd and 4th in Tunisia, Hammamet. Wrestlers will be hitting the mat in freestyle and Greco-Roman events for a chance at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Ethan will be representing Guam in the 125-pound division. Guam will also be represented by Mia and Raquela Aquino. Coach Mariano Aquino will be traveling with the team as they compete in the 4th Olympic qualifying event. The top 2 wrestlers in each weight class will earn an Olympic berth. Agagi says it's been a long time for Team Guam, and we're ready to book some tickets to Tokyo. Big thank you to everyone who supports Team Guam, and most especially the GNOC. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
Through the month of April, KUAM News and the KUAM Care Force features Sustainability Matters, building awareness for environmental issues, highlighting activists, and showcasing businesses and individuals making a difference in our community. Watch a special series on Mondays on KUAM News featuring different aspects of thinking green in our community. Awareness messages on every platform giving you tips for leading a more sustainable lifestyle. The Dirty Politics Weekly feature with The Link live on location with Chris and Sabrina visiting different villages with political leaders and addressing environmental problems in our community. And this year, the Think Green annual cleanup goes virtual. Organize your community cleanup, post and tag with hashtag ThinkGreenGuam, and we'll feature your cleanup on our multimedia platforms and in a special montage on KUAM News Weekend Edition during the last weekend in April. Sustainability Matters, part of the KUAM Care Force's commitment to our community. In partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI.
With regional headlines, here's KSPN 2 News.
Holiday Zantino Guam. Here's what's making headlines in the CNMI. More than 8,000 individuals are eagerly awaiting the money for the Lost Wages Assistance Program. But after weeks of review, the department has eliminated some names off that list.
And we're looking at about 8,473 names, but at this point, 6,909 are eligible. Several hundreds have been disqualified because of their status, of employment status, for being a CWM worker at that time, and several have been denied due to outright fraudulent claims. These are claims that are not within the CNMI, do not have any documents or identification.
Beneventi states the new list of eligible applicants will be transmitted to the Department of Finance within the next few days. About $6 million has been put aside for the LWA funding. As for the second round of the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, better known as PUA, here is the update.
We've vetted about 12,800 applications, looking like these will all be eligible applicants. Most of these applicants have already submitted their documentation to update their employment status, copies of paychecks if needed, copies of time records, work records if needed. And it's going to be about an estimated $90 million of PUA disbursements within the next several weeks for PUA Round 2 under the CAA, Continuing Assistance Act.
For the first round of PUA, DOL paid about 38,000 applicants, but that list has been cut in half as well because some individuals went back to work or moved off island. As for staffing, Beneventi states even that number has gone down.
And we had applied for a grant asking if we could employ 50 PUA coordinators, and unfortunately we received an approval for only 15 PUA coordinators. Since that time last year, we started borrowing government agencies' personnel to assist us and to be assigned to the Department of Labor. So as far as each program, PUA and LWA, I just want to give you a quick look at my board here. It's an ever-changing board. It has gone from 111 to 85 names at this point in time.
But despite the challenge, the department's #1 goal is to prevent fraudulent claims.
I know a lot of people are calling saying, when am I going to get my PUA Round 2? Why is it taking so long? When we receive an application, especially thousands of applications, each one of them has to be opened up. Each one of them has to be reviewed by an adjudicator on the Department of Labor staff to make sure that those documents are vetted carefully, checking weekly check stubs, verifying employers. Very important to verify that an employer is actually an employer and not somebody else.
Beneventi extends her thanks to the community for their patience as they continue to try to get the money out as soon as possible. For more news, please visit saipantv.com. For KSPN2, I'm Sally Limas.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy Friday birthday to Patty Gogui. Happy blessed birthday, Auntie Patty. Enjoy your special day always from the Pinpin family. The Onda Derbai, happy birthday number 12. The happiest birthday to you and many more to come. We hope you have a wonderful one, just as you are. Stay sweet and humble. We love you, says your family. Celebrating birthday number 59 is Vince Paulino today, and happy birthday, Vince. Make the best of the last year, as you are in the last year of your 50s. Happy birthday, lucky number 7 to Tiago L. Sanchez, to our happy, energetic, wonderful son. We love you so much, say Mom and Dad. And a special belated birthday wish going out to Latrell Jacob Soriano, who was born on the 6th. Happy blessed and wonderful birthday to our dearest son, Kobe. Lots of love, say Daddy, Mommy, and our family near and far.
Remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. And it's that time of the week where we announce the winner of a Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake.
This week's Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake winner is Peyton Kitutu, who was born on April the 6th. Peyton, all of your friends here at KUAM and Cold Stone Creamery wish you a very happy extended birthday, and we'll be in touch with you to let you know how you can get your cake.
That's going to do it for us here on Primetime. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend and be safe.